Hey, what's up guys? So in this video, we're going to be talking about laser detection on your radar detector. And specifically, the importance of laser detection or lack thereof, especially when detecting laser from behind. So normally when we're talking about laser detection in a radar detector, we're usually focused on front detection. The majority of shots that you're going to see in most places at least are typically going to be from the front. And from the front, your radar detector is going to have a great view of the road ahead. I mean, everything directly ahead, to the left and to the right, even up if you're getting shot from overpasses. I mean, you've got a beautiful view pressed up right against the windshield. If you're trying to pick up rear laser, shots from the rear, you're going to have a much tougher time. I mean, look at that tiny window back there in my SUV here that you're going to have to try to pick up laser from. I mean, you basically got tunnel vision, right? This tiny little window, you're trying to pick up shots through there, and you've got, headrests like this, you've got rear headrests. Like, it's a much harder thing to actually pick up shots from the rear compared to the front. Now, I've done a video in the past talking about laser detection in general and how most of the time it's going to be a speeding ticket notifier. I mean, these radar detectors, they do have laser detection built in, but the V1, it's going to be one of the best that you'll find in terms of sensitivity, but even this is going to struggle to actually protect you against a ticket, I've done a whole video talking about that. I'll link to it. You can just click the button on screen. But in short, these things really struggle to detect laser unless you're being shot directly. And even then, you may not always get the ticket. So typically speaking, yes, there's exceptions. These things are at best going to be speeding ticket notifiers. There are a couple rare exceptions, but the majority of the time, honestly, Waze is going to be way more useful against laser. And then, laser jammers are your main tool to get protected. But even Waze for free is going to do way better than any radar detector will realistically in most situations. But what about rear laser specifically? Well, one of the biggest issues, as you can see, is this tiny little window back there. I remember doing some testing in my Miata that I had before this where, it was a small car. Like, I did some testing literally where I could fold the top down, and I was doing laser jammer testing, getting shot front and rear. And for kicks, I remember putting different radar detectors on the windshield just to see how front and rear detection did. And even in that car, which was tiny, and you had no top, you had no rear window, no rear headrest, nothing. Even in that car, most radar detectors struggled to pick up anything from the rear. I think I was testing with the V1 Gen 1 at the time, and that one did the best. But even then, it was not a reliable way to pick up laser from the rear. And so it's just going to be a struggle. And this is going to be true regardless of where you mount your radar detector. Like, we can take a quick look here at 3 different common mounting locations. We can take a look at mounting up high by the rear view mirror where I have my R4 mounted. We can take a look at the low mount, which is also really popular for laser because it gets you closer to the front plate where they're targeting down there. So we'll take a look at the mounting location where the DS1 is, as well as the blend mount, which is kind of right here in the middle where I've got the GoPro mounted that I'm shooting this video here with. Now, starting off with a high mount, which is typically where I prefer mounting my radar detectors, is where the R4 was mounted to get the optimal radar capabilities. You can see, we've got a field of view, like you can see directly back behind me. You can kind of see the street there. You can see the street there, but they're kind of being blocked by the headrests, right? You've got a pretty limited field of view. If we try to go maybe mounted lower like this, here's the blend mount location. Similar setup. I guess you can see like the middle headrest right there. That's also starting to block things a little bit more, but I guess you have a little bit more height. And if we go down here to the low mount, this is where the Redenso DS1 was mounted really low. You can see, the headrests start to block things even more. So for none of these locations, it's going to be optimal. I know people talk about, mounting it low for the front detection because, again, you get closer to where the officers are targeting your front plate area, right? For the rear, maybe the high mount would be best, but I guess you could always play with it. But either way, it's going to be a struggle regardless. Now, when it comes to laser detection, most detectors are going to be optimized to picking up laser up ahead from the front. So you're going to have your laser sensor, and the sensitivity and the design, of course, varies with how all this works. But you'll find that you're going to have a primary laser sensor from the front. This is where you get the most sensitivity. And then you're going to be getting kind of like a secondary sensor like this, kind of like a periscope thing. The idea is it's designed to detect laser from the rear, ideally, and then kind of funnel that signal back down here into the laser sensor. It doesn't differentiate if the signal's coming in from the front or from the rear. And for that reason, if you do get a laser alert, you'll notice that it's just going to say laser. Like, here's the Redline 360C, and you'll notice that all of the arrows flash, right? It doesn't say if it's from the front or from the rear. The V1s are typically going to be different. These have some of the best laser sensitivity around, and you'll find that if I shoot it here from the front side, the direction that you'll see when you're driving, you'll notice that it's going to light up and it says arrow ahead, right? If I shoot the V1 and kind of tag it from behind, you'll see that the rear arrow lights up. And the reason that it's able to give me the directional indication is that it does have a secondary rear laser sensor as well, and it's detecting, are you getting shot from the front or are you getting shot from the rear? And so the V1 is one of the very few detectors that can actually do the directional indication for laser. Most detectors just use this little rear laser sensor light pipe thing so that when you get shot with laser, it just alerts like this and there's no directional indication. Now, I know something that's come up recently is actually the design of the Uniden R8. Let's grab that real quick. And what I'm about to say is in no way, shape, or form in defense of Uniden's design choices. If you take a look here, the way that this is designed, you'll notice that it actually kind of comes up here at the top, and it's actually going to be blocking any signals that are trying to be detected by this rear light pipe thing, right? If you look at the R7's design, with this one, it's flat on the top. So in theory, there's no part of the detector that's actually blocking the rear laser sensor. If you look at the R8, the detector, it's kind of blocking the rear laser sensor, right? So if I just plug it in here real quick, we'll let it boot up real quick. I can shoot it with laser, and I mean, it can give me the laser indication. It can detect signals from the rear, but there's no directional indication. And yes, this thing will block it, but in practice, it's going to be almost irrelevant. If you take a look at my Uniden R4 that I've got mounted up here by the headliner, as you can see, from the field of view of maybe the laser gun trying to shoot laser this way, there's pretty much zero chance of any laser being received by the little laser sensor that's back there. It's going to be blocked by the headliner, right? So even if there's a bump here or not, it's going to make zero difference. I mean, maybe you'll get a better view, again, in theory, because if you mount it down lower like this, then sure, it's not being physically obscured, or if this part is flat, yeah, that is definitely going to help. But then again, in practice, I mean, picking up laser from behind, just due to the design of the cars, is going to be really, really difficult. And so, I mean, even if you're in a convertible, I still found it really challenging in practice. And so we can take a look at laser sensitivity, especially from the rear, and try to compare that and use it as a way to compare different detectors. But in practice, it's going to make basically zero difference to keeping you protected on the road. And it's actually the reason why I stopped bothering doing pop testing. Like, pop testing was fun way, it's an easy thing to test, to kind of compare different detectors and see which ones are the best at detecting pop most reliably. But I remember seeing people making decisions on what detector to buy based on which one could detect pop the most. And I'm like, well, it's interesting, but it's kind of irrelevant in practice. And I feel like rear laser detection, basically the same exact thing. And so we can start to talk about which one has the best laser detection, but I don't think it's a useful way to compare different detectors, and it's definitely not a reason why you would want to maybe choose one detector over another. You know, we can take a look at things that matter, like your radar detector sensitivity. How far away can you pick up signals? You know, what kind of reactivity can you pick up brief signals? You know, what about blind spot filtering? What about the way the GPS lockouts are implemented? What about RDD immunity? Like, these things can really make a difference in practice. But when it comes to laser sensitivity, and especially rear laser sensitivity, in my opinion, it makes almost zero practical real world difference. And so while we could talk about different design choices and all that kind of stuff, like, I don't think that's a really good investment of time and energy. And so yeah, that's, I guess, just kind of something quick I wanted to talk about with rear laser detection. It's just something that I've been seeing discussed recently, and I wanted to do a quick video talking about it. And so yeah, that's it for now. That's it for this latest episode of 5-ish Minute Fridays. More videos to come. I got plenty more things to talk about and share with you guys. If you have additional suggestions or ideas for future topics, let me know down in the comment area. If you agree with what I talked about here, or you disagree strongly, let me know too, and let me know why. I'm always open to hearing, you know, other ideas and other things maybe that I hadn't even considered. But yeah, that's definitely my thoughts here as far as rear laser sensitivity and its importance or lack thereof. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.